Ding, ding, ding. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first, from somewhere in the future, at a total combined weight of 480 pounds, Travis and Troy, Techno Team 2000. Their opponents, currently in the ring, at a total combined weight of 512 pounds, the team of Mike Bell and his partner, Tim Henderson. And indeed, ladies and gentlemen, Techno Team 2000 here, a very rare team here in the World Wrestling Federation, circa 1995, 1996. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first YouTube rant of the Wrestlevessel. You've seen me on Gaming Palooza. You've also heard my radio show, WRPR, and now, here I am, making YouTube rants. Now, I don't know about you listeners, but, let's get into some of the stories. I'm kind of bored with this current kid-friendly World Wrestling Entertainment product. I don't care for many of these wrestlers and don't understand some of the booking they have done. I don't understand why this guy, CM Punk, is so over. And the WWE does love this man so much. Why did they make him job on 2 consecutive pay-per-views after winning Money in the Bank? It just doesn't add up, and I don't think this company really has any idea what they're doing at this time. How about on Raw recently, Hunter Helmsley, he's returned once again, and he's feuding with Randy Orton. How many of you are sick and tired of this feud? It has run its course, and the fans are the ones who are forced to have this crap fed down their throat each and every week. I find Legacy rather boring. The feud with Hunter Helmsley is just a drag, and I know I'm not the only one who doesn't like it. There's many people constantly complaining on 411mania.com. Now, Helmsley needs to stop taking that HGH, step down as an active wrestler. You could work for the company, you could be maybe a GM, but I don't want to see you wrestle anymore, man. You just take your steroids, you get in there. You're very boring. You're not that over with me. How about a big problem with the current product is that there's too many pay-per-views, not enough superstars, and just flat out boring. I think the 80s, the early 90s, and the Attitude Era were much more entertaining than this stale product that we see today. We see the same matches over and over. And the new stars they're pushing, such as CM Punk, Kofi Kingston, and Rey Mysterio Jr., they're just characters I can't find myself getting excited about. How many of you really think Rey Mysterio Jr. is a credible world champion? Give me a break. It seems like the characters who are of interest to me these days are the lower level guys like The Miz. I hated The Miz for a long time, but this recent feud with John Cena has just been very entertaining. He comes out every week, he claims he beats John Cena. He's like, I am 7-0, and I don't know, it's just very funny. And then also that little promo on Raw with Jerry the King Lawler. Who else can say they beat a man of the 70s, Bruno Sammartino, the man of the 80s, Hulk Hogan, and the man of the 90s, Stone Cold Steve Austin, in a handicap match? Only Jerry Lawler can say that. I also like Santino Marella. He's a real comedian, a breath of fresh air for the wrestling world. Comes out, he's pretty entertaining, but the Santina stuff, though, is starting to get a little bit old and it's run its course, I think. I also enjoy the Hart Dynasty and Christian, but unfortunately, these guys are stuck on the joke brand of ECW, and no one really gets to watch that program because, it sucks. Speaking of 411 Mania, did you fans know that Mick Foley has called some of their fans out? He's unhappy that some fans are saying, please don't write another book. You shouldn't take it so personally, Mr. Foley. Some of those ring rats are just stupid idiots, Damian Demento would say. And I'll talk about Damian Demento in the future. Now, I don't really like current product much, but I still watch Monday Night Raw because Monday night is just a convenient time to watch wrestling. It's been a tradition for so many years. It seems like SmackDown produces the better shows and is more interesting, but I just watch Raw, and I really don't care for it too much these days. There's a lot of things that they can do in the wrestling world to correct it. Another issue I'd like to discuss is the lack of tag teams in wrestling these days, and some suggestions I have to fix this broken down product. But, I'll get into details on that on a future rant, because there's just so much to talk about on that. I know, I'm a little bit short of time here. By the way, here's some other things I like to discuss on future blogs, and that is wrestlers who actually talk to you, the fans, online. You got Damian Demento, who was several months ago running his own internet shows, and he would say things like, "Subscribe to my YouTube videos, stupid idiot, punk-ass bitch." He had this little funny thing called The Demented Show, and him and his geek buddy, Bill Pierce, ran it. They were just very entertaining, and he would call me, "Wrestle Eves is calling the line. Come to the Waffle House." Just Damian Demento, man, so entertaining. The low-level time, 1993, and I hope he'd come back someday. He does little rants now these days, but his videos are pretty much gone. And don't forget, go to some Jobber Burgers in White Castle. Another wrestler talks to you online is Leaping Lanny Poffo, who's hell of a nice guy, and he replies to all of your emails. There's even some people I know that email him, and they use poor grammar and everything, and he'll still reply to them. Now here's a question from a fan. Jim Legend 24 asks, and now also, by the way, you can ask questions anytime you want. Anybody listening to these videos, have comment suggestions, feel free. I'll discuss anything you want. So Jim Legend 24 asks, why is Kane not being booked? Now, I personally do not know. You see, Undertaker has been off since April or so. Shawn Michaels has been off of TV. Triple H was off until recently. They had so many guys that are lacking. Why not get a big star in Kane on TV? It doesn't make much sense. He's out there right now in India, like signing autographs and doing little things like that, but they're not putting him on TV. Again, it shows you how crappy this current wrestling product is. And there's so many things they should do in order to change it and fix it. Jim Legend also asks, why Vince McMahon books a gimmick, then drops it halfway through when it's getting interesting, like the Kazarni videos we saw. They debuted his gimmick, and then a few weeks after he debuts, he's gone. Well, Kazarni, those vignettes were entertaining, but I guess they could have booked him better if he was a heel, like sort of the old evil Doink gimmick from '93. And I don't know what they were thinking here. But Kazarni, though, came in, though. He had an okay match with Montel Vontavious Porter in his debut. The only other match he competed on television was a Battle Royal a couple weeks later. And, sometimes they just don't know how to book people properly. And they just like, we're going to bring this guy in, we're going to put like 4 months of vignettes into him, and then, just forget it. We'll just drop this angle, Well, remember that fake Kane from 2006? They dropped his angle, too. They got to fix things like that. You see, it'd be better if they could make some better suggestions. They got to think these things through. Speaking of it, how about how things have gone here for the worst in WWE? The bad economy is even taking its toll on Vince, who sees his house show attendance rapidly going down. There are shows that are drawing as little as 2,000 fans. For World Wrestling Entertainment, that's an embarrassment. Don't you love their little facts every week on Raw, too? Like, we have millions and millions of fans. We draw more people than NBA and NHL. Who really cares? These facts are probably obscured, or also, talk about in UK or some other countries, people aren't going to be watching USA sports. Give me a break.